Welcome back, everyone, to Smash This Podcast. This is a Cruiserweight Classic Special Edition. Trying to heat things up at the end of summer here because things are starting to cool down. But man, this has got to be one of the hottest things in the WWE in a long time. I did a special at the start of summer when this whole shebang started with Paul Sweat, but this time we've got some different people in here to talk cruiserweights and such. We got Baron with me. How you doing today?
Yo. How's it going?
It's going, man. And new to Smash This Podcast tonight as a guest, we've got Mile High Laz straight out of the Wrestle Addict. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing just spiffy, sir. How's yourself?
Oh, just fantastic. Can't wait to get into some of this. This has been one of the most interesting things. You want to talk about new content on the network, and I think that's what a lot of us who buy the network, we're hoping for. I mean, the classic stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. You know, some of it's like incredible. Some of it's, I'll pass. But what's going to sell this network is new, original stuff. And this stuff that they've come up with, which has been in the talks, I think, for several years now, from what I gather, because we've heard little things about, oh, we might start a show with this guy, or we might start a show with this guy. Well, now I think we have the culmination of that, and I think it's 10 times better than what they had dreamed up in the first place. We had the Cruiserweight Classic with 32 guys, and the culmination is tomorrow night with... Now let's see. It's Ibushi versus T.J. Perkins, I believe, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus. I had the picture up and I was looking at it earlier.
Grand Metalik.
Yes.
Grand Metalik.
Yes.
Metalik.
Yes.
Or however you say his last name.
And then I think there's also a tag team match thrown in there. I believe it's. Oh my God!
Ew.
TM61 versus the Authors of Pain, or is it CWC guys?
It's CWC guys, but it's Ciampa and Gargano against the NXT Tag Team Champs. I believe that's what it is.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, it's a 2-hour special, and you gotta, you can't have everything in 1 hour. These guys need a break from, because these last 2 matches leading into the grand finale are just going to be ridiculous. And this isn't meant to be like okay, who's going to win it all? I mean, we can discuss that a little bit, because to me, honestly, this thing has been such a success. It doesn't matter who wins this.
No, it really doesn't. I mean, how many stars possibly came out of this? Just this tournament. Bracket, whatever it is you want to call it. How many big stars do you think
almost
came out
half
of this?
of them.
I agree. I would say a good majority came out, and they're going to be big stars for WWE.
Because, and this is my fault. I did not prep this, but I could probably name most of the names off the top of my head. We have 10 of these guys that have been in this Cruiserweight Classic, bracketology, whatever you want to call it. 10 of them are going straight to the main roster in a week.
Yeah.
And that right there is a whole subject in itself. And we'll get to that at the end of this podcast tonight. But Laz, what do you think of this whole thing that's been going on most of the summer now, the whole Cruiserweight Classic? What's your opinion on it? Has it been a success? What do you think of it?
By WWE standards, it's a rousing success. I mean, does the tournament hold a candle to Bola? No. Does the tournament hold a candle to the Super Strong Style 16? Maybe. Does it hold a candle to, like, the best of the Super Juniors? Maybe. But by WWE standards, the fact that they're acknowledging wrestling outside of the WWE, that is a milestone. I would like to congratulate Vince McMahon on being okay with sharing his toys with others in the sandbox. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that is incredibly thinking outside of the box. And I don't know who we have to thank for all that. I don't know.
It's got to be Triple H, man.
I'm guessing he was.
I don't want to give him credit for everything, but on that, I don't know if I could give them this one.
Yeah, Big Daddy Trips. It's he's really turned NXT on its head over the course of the last year, getting it to be a touring brand besides just floating around Florida. But then again, I think you've got two different extensions of NXT going on. You've got the home base of the guys that are really green and they need to stick around home base. Then you got the other guys that have a little more experience, along with the veterans like Nakamura and Aries and Joe, that are working with these up and comers and turning them into something positive. So
yeah, the biggest thing that comes from this is they're focusing on the one word we all love. That's wrestling.
Yes.
We're seeing. You just even on the main roster, the main shows, we're seeing some damn good matches for once, and the CWC has, showcased, a lot of talent people have no clue about, even though some of us do know who they are. And it's just talent. It shows wrestling, and that's what we all enjoy. And this is moving forward. It's a positive. There's no negative.
Yeah.
And the nice part about it is it's showing us that the WWE is capable of thinking outside of itself. Now, granted, in the end, the tournament is 100% to benefit itself, but it's nice that the WWE is acknowledging, it's not the Vince McMahon having his head buried in the sand for a decade. Well, oh no, TNA doesn't exist. We don't talk about it. It's that thing down there in Nashville. It's that wrestling. It's like, no, Vince, they have legitimately skilled people there, and you're not looking at any of them because you're not acknowledging their existence.
Right. Yeah. This thing overall has been so much fun. And I think because we, depending on how big a wrestling fan you are, you probably watched at least the WWE stuff or maybe at least a couple hours a week of some other brands like TNA, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, what have you, or even the more international stuff like New Japan stuff. But now where the hell was I going with this?
No, I think where you're going is the cool part about wrestling fans anymore is the wrestling fans that are only WWE fans, they're missing out.
Oh, no, the point I was going to make with this, it just popped back in my head, is the fact that every single time that I've watched part of this Cruiserweight Classic, every single episode, it doesn't matter who was in the ring with who, the advancing tournament, first-time matches, whatever it was, I always saw something new and exciting.
Yeah, and the matches got progressively more complex as time went along. It's this wonderful thing that obviously Triple H remembers, but I don't know if Vince remembers. I think Vince is too interested in making a television show, and that's awesome. Somebody has to have that forethought for that company. But I don't think but Triple H isn't that guy. You noticed that when Kevin Owens and Finn Balor did their ladder match, that wasn't the first time they ever touched each other. That was after a year. That was after 6 months of them wanting to kill each other.
Right.
That was you escalate. So the thing is the beginning round matches, they were a little bit. There was high spots, but there wasn't a lot of high spots. And every round, if you watch progressively as we've gone forward, the matches have gotten far more intricate.
Yeah. Baron, what has been, now I know in talking to you earlier, you said you had not watched this past episode leading up to the finale. So barring not seeing that one, what has been your favorite match or favorite person to watch as part of this Cruiserweight Classic tournament?
Well, I think everyone's favorite has been Ibushi by far. I personally, and that's my opinion.
Okay.
The best match that I personally, story-wise, to tell a story to me, to make me interested, because that's the main thing for me. If I'm watching wrestling, I want someone to tell me a story. And I think Ciampa and Gargano told the best story in the ring. It wasn't like a 5-star match by any means. A lot of high spots, but it told a story, and it made me sit at the edge of my couch like, holy shit. And that by far throughout the entire tournament was my favorite match.
All right, well, here's where I
do
throw
without Daniel Bryan. That man needs to get off the damn commentating booth.
Dude, I actually like Daniel Bryan on commentating.
Man,
yeah, I thought he was pretty good with Ronaldo. Where I didn't think he was going to go.
Armbar. I've never seen an armbar.
Here's where I kick the ball back to you, Baron, because I'm going to disqualify that match. You're not allowed to select that match as your favorite because that match has happened 100 times.
100 times, okay, yeah, and it has, but it hasn't happened.
But that's why I'm. But the thing is I'm saying like pick another match because everybody knows there's history between those two and that they know each other like best friends. So, I would be more interested in what you kind of thought outside of that because we know those two, you put them together, magic happens. We know something good is going to happen there.
I'm trying to think who else would pop in my head. Because, goddamn, it's been a while. It was Rich Swann versus, son of a bitch. This is probably this was round 2.
Lince Dorado.
Yeah, it could be.
I think that's who it was. I'm a big fan of Rich Swann, and I'm also a big fan in the match he had with Ibushi, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. Later on, Triple H came out. And
Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
Cedric Alexander. I thought that was another phenomenal match, and that was something I never seen a match from Cedric Alexander. I've never seen him in indie scene, never even heard of him. But from the day one, round 1, when he stepped into that ring, everybody in the crowd, including me, was just like blown away. And I think that was another highlight throughout the tournament was that match there.
Yeah, Cedric Alexander's been all over the place, but he's never really been – he's always been that great worker. He was never really given a lot of mic time or a lot of face time. I think he got some in Ring of Honor.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
And has he always been Cedric Alexander?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
he was in a tag team with Cole
Caprice Coleman.
Yeah, that guy. And then they did a singles thing over the course of the last year. They turned him heel, and he got a little more exposure. But I think he gained a lot more respect when he was working that heel. And he might have come out and acted, heelish. But, man, did he earn a lot of respect during that run. And the fact that guy cut like 20-plus pounds to become part of this was like, wow.
Yeah,
a lot of that was probably. I mean, dude, you got some of those guys. I mean, they're feathering that weight line. That weight line's just there for the sake of having a number to point at.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of those guys that are way under, and there's some of those guys I look at and go, not buying it. Like Fabian Archner, that dude was as big as a freaking house.
Yeah, that dude was huge.
Yeah, he might not have been that tall, but he was big. Yeah, and even
same thing with Lance Storm Jr. Clement Pitot that took on Cedric Alexander in the first round. Okay. That dude he looks like Lance Storm. I'm like his build, I think he's shorter. But his build, he looks like Lance Storm. He has no facial expression like Lance Storm. I mean, you could tell. I could look at him and go, "Oh my God, you were trained by Lance Storm!" Because you're him. He has done a tremendous job at recreating himself. Now, granted, Lance Storm, one of the greatest wrestlers probably to ever put on a pair of boots, but the guy was not the poster child for personality.
Yeah, or a big I thought Tony Nese was pretty massive.
Dude, Nice is one of those guys. He's deceptive as fuck. Like, that's the dude, like, I've seen him in some indie videos. Now, maybe it's the camera, maybe it's the camera angle. Like, you can never really tell. But he didn't look that big. But damn, dude, he walked out for this tournament and looked like a monster.
Yeah, he looked pretty buff. And I've seen a handful of things from him before. It's just been like a long time. Like, and some of these guys, for me, it's the first time seeing them at all, which is, it goes for probably over half these guys. Some of these guys were one and done, but then like a couple months later, NXT has brought them back and thrown them in a match here and there. Like that one Samoan guy with the Ultimate
Sean
Warrior.
Maluta.
Yes, Sean Maluta in his first match that he lost to Ibushi.
The 92nd cousin of The Rock.
Yes.
Like, that dude's family tree has got to be a long.
Well, I think all Samoans are
like
related.
I'm dead serious, dude. They have to. There has to be like one there has to be like one sperm that they're all genetically linked to for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every Samoan in the world is a member of the Ananoia family.
Yeah, some Samoan got on high, spread his shit across the entire planet. But
I would like to throw out another name, not a match really, but he didn't get talked about a lot, and I'm not sure what they plan on doing with him. But I loved every minute of Jack Gallagher.
Oh, dude,
in the ring, he was phenomenal in the ring.
He's going to Raw. Is he
going to Raw?
Gallagher is going to be a star. I've been watching Jack Gallagher for the last year and a half-ish in Progress and in ICW. Like, the thing is Jack Gallagher is one of the mustachioed wonders from the UK. The other two are Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. I would love to see Trent Seven and Tyler Bate in the WWE as proper English brawlers because they could do it. I mean, that's the great part about this tournament is you've got so many guys from so many different federations across the country. Like, the WWE did their homework. They really did.
Yeah. It's just the wide. They didn't pick like all Adrian Nevilles, or they didn't pick all Japanese guys. They picked stuff from Japan. They picked stuff from like the UK. They had stuff from all over the Indies and the US. They had some of the first guys from China. It was just amazing, the variety that they picked from all over. It's just.
You had a couple of guys that were kind of the international unknowns, like the Ho-Ho Loon. Like, I had no concept, no idea.
Yeah.
There were a couple other ones, but like some of the internationals, it's really weird when you can look at a field that's this many people and go, I can give you a reason to sign every single person.
Yeah, they all brought something special to the table, and I don't think any of the matches that you watched throughout this whole thing were like, all right, that's I'll skip that one. No, man, they all brought something awesome, and a different style to each. Yeah, what has been your favorite part of this whole thing, whether it be one particular guy to watch or a match, Laz?
Let's see here, one particular guy or a match,
or you can name a couple. It doesn't matter to me. Just what's been some of your favorites.
I got a couple.
Okay.
I love Rich Swann. Dude, if I was in charge of the WWE, I would be on the phone with Lionel Richie to license all night long.
I saw that tweet of yours the other day.
It would be done. Like, this is Vince McMahon being a stubborn fuck. That's all this is. It's like, Vince, write him a check. Just write him a check. I don't give a shit what it costs. I want Lionel Richie on that motherfucking stage, WrestleMania, playing all night goddamn long as Rich Swann goes to the ring.
Yeah, on the piano or whatever. Yeah, just like he has the
dude,
commercials.
I want him out there with the whole fucking band. Like,
there you go.
I want the whole shit, dude. If we're doing this, we're doing it.
Get what was he part of, the Commodores? No, that's something else.
I mean, but I'm saying it's like that guy, like that dude is electric. I don't understand, and seeing, and like he's missing his other half. His other half is Ricochet.
Oh, were they a tag team somewhere?
Yes, they're a tag team all over the Indies. They're known as the Inner City Machine Guns.
Didn't they mention Ricochet a couple times on CWC, if I'm not mistaken?
They can't.
It wasn't. I don't think they mentioned him by Ricochet. They mentioned him by something else. But maybe that was just one of Daniel Bryan's spur of the moment.
They can't mention him because of his deal with Lucha.
Yeah,
he's still tied up under contract. But I mean, it's Rich Swann, it's like watching his development through PWG, because through the High Spots Network, I've got like the entire PWG catalog back to the beginning.
Oh man!
So it's kind of fun, just kind of watching his development as a performer and watching him get more confident. And you see his transformation, and then all of a sudden one day he's there, and it's just like, whoa! Yeah. Like if they ever give him a chance, this guy's a star. The guy that everybody wants to knock this tournament, Zack Sabre Jr. Dear God, guy is the greatest technical wrestler on earth. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is.
I was impressed by him. I was like, wow. I mean, he did stuff. Talk about counters and stuff. Just blew my mind.
But think about it, okay? You've got people that they hear the term cruiserweight, and what's the first person they think of? Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I was gonna say Rey Mysterio.
They think of high flying flips and the tornado DDTs and the head scissor planches and all that other miscellaneous stuff that Rey Mysterio did that I don't even know the names of, but it still amazes me.
Yeah.
But you've got that. So the thing is you've got a lot of people that are getting introduced to the British style of wrestling for the first time. I mean, they're your quote-unquote British wrestlers in the WWE in recent memory were Bad News Barrett, who was a brawler, and Sheamus, who is a brawler. These are not technical wrestlers.
No, they're just throwing fists and kicks and just messing you up, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why what ended up happening was you had a lot of people that looked at Zack Sabre Jr. and they're like, I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just saw Kota Ibushi do a flip off the building. Like, I don't get why this guy is working this guy's fingers. Why is he doing that?
A completely different style. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is I mean, the other thing with Zack Sabre Jr. is like he needs to work on his personality. The guy is over everywhere he works. He's just over. He's a good-looking guy who's very good at what he does. He's over. Now, the thing is when they bring him to Raw, he needs to be able to talk.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's one of the guys that's coming to Raw, though.
He's not. He hasn't signed yet. Kota Ibushi hasn't signed yet.
Now, I would think these guys would probably go to NXT.
No. A lot of these Zack Sabre Jr., I mean, he works all over the world, man. He works everywhere. So you have some of these guys that by being at NXT, they would actually probably come close to taking a pay cut.
Right? Yeah, and I agree upon that. But I thought Ibushi, he's not signed with NXT.
No,
he's done some matches, but
he's done quite a few. Almost every
he's just
NXT.
sticking around. Yeah, he's just sticking around for the summer. I think he's going back to Japan probably in another month or so.
He's been working a lot of different US indie stuff. I mean, the thing with him is like Ibushi is a guy that I hope comes later or sooner rather than later because his health is questionable.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't want him to be one of the great Asian talents that is just lost to history. And he's going to run the risk of it because the thing is if he doesn't come soon and he gets hurt again, there's no guarantee that he's ever going to get another shot.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be ego, it could be health. You never know what's going through these guys' minds.
Yeah, you would think those would be their top two picks to sign to Raw or NXT. I'm not sure why I was on their assumption they were probably going to sign with NXT, stay with NXT after this was all said and done.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys have. I mean, I think what's going to end up happening is I think you're going to see a lot of these guys end up on like the Gargano and Ciampa kind of deals.
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
they're going to come in and work television taping and then bounce because they're going to go back over and work in Japan or wherever. I think it's going to be kind of one of those things for some of these guys.
Well, I know Gargano and Ciampa are working like their last indie dates over the course of this next week. In fact,
Ciampa has a match against Cody Rhodes, right?
Yeah, one
Saturday.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's his last indie date, which is nothing to sneeze at. Jeez Louise.
And then you've got Gargano finishes up either this weekend or next weekend with AIW.
Yeah. He just finished up in Evolve.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of these guys that are like pulling up tent posts. So, but you know, it's fine and good, but the thing that I like is they're taking this CWC talent and they're not continuing to glut the NXT roster with it. They're moving it on.
Yeah, and I think some of these guys that did not get picked for the main that are getting slingshot right to the main roster, which I think is amazing. Like it's shocking. It's like, wow, these kids are getting slingshot.
Well,
that's crazy.
They didn't really have an option. Well, they didn't really have an option. The thing is they had to create a division from nothing.
Yeah. Basically, because they only have
they had to create a division from nothing, and then they put the guy who I think should be the champion of the division on the wrong fucking show.
Oh, you're talking about Kalisto?
Kalisto.
Yeah. Oh, I love Kalisto. Yeah. I've really come to like him over the last couple years. Yeah.
I mean, he's a talented guy. I mean, a lot of these guys are super talented, but my favorite match of the whole tournament, Akira Tozawa versus Jack Gallagher. Give me that match any day of the week, including Sunday.
And those are two guys that are going straight to the roster. Yeah.
But the thing is they're polar opposites.
Yeah.
You have Tozawa that's the full-on psycho Dragon Gate style.
Yep.
And then you have Jack Gallagher that's a classically trained British grappler. I'm like, you couldn't get more polar opposites in a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
that was
really,
a damn good match.
Yeah. It reminded me when I was looking at Tozawa, over the course of his few matches in the CWC, I had been to a Dragon Gate show back in 2011, 11 or 10, somewhere back then. It was when Dean Ambrose challenged Daniel Bryan while Daniel Bryan was floating around the Indies, contemplating on being fired. Then they brought him back, at the end of the summer that year. I forget what year that was.
But the year that he choked out, was it Josh Matthews?
Yes. The ring announcer.
Oh crap! Who was that?
Justin. What the hell?
Roberts?
Yeah. That guy. Yeah.
Is it Justin Roberts?
Yeah. I think that's what his name was. But it was that year, and I seeing a Dragon Gate USA show that's the only one I've ever seen, but I saw it live. So, and that was my introduction to Moxley, to see Daniel Bryan work outside of a WWE environment. That was incredible. I saw, I know this is going off the subject, just bear with me. I saw Luke Harper for the first time, aka Brody Lee. But the high-flying stuff, craziness that I saw in that show, and Tozawa was one of the guys that I met. And after the show, along with, what the hell were some of their names? BB Hulk, I think, was one of them too. But yeah.
Probably SEMA was probably there.
And in fact, I went back and I looked at like an old DVD cover. Like if you look up the card online, and I can't remember half the matches that were actually there. They were just all so mind blowing. Jimmy Jacobs was part of that show. Ricochet, I think, was actually part of that show too. But that would
make sense. He's from Kentucky, so that's Midwest.
Yeah, and I that's one that I've being there. I gotta like own that DVD someday. but yeah, so seeing Tozawa and how good he was, and this was a nice refresher. Like, oh god, yeah, that's how good he really is. I haven't seen him in a long freaking time. And seeing another one that would have been a favorite for me is the journey of T.J. Perkins.
Dude, what a crazy road he's taken to get here.
Yeah, it's like, and I've watched TNA fairly regularly over the years. Last few years, I've tapered off a little bit when they started losing guys like Styles, Aries, Joe. I was like, okay, it's one less reason for me to watch now.
The roster.
Yeah.
They let those guys walk away like everybody not named Bram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Bram was just, actually breaking news, Bram was just re-signed to a new TNA multi-year contract. So,
again.
Exactly. It's like his third multi-year contract in the last 3 months. I mean, the guy's got to be under contract at least 80 at this point.
Yeah, he's just stacking them now. But yeah, to watch it,
the real question is, are they paying him?
That's a valid question, sir. I believe you're going to have to take that up with one Mr. Corrigan now, because I believe he is covering payroll.
Yeah, he's trying to take over down there. But yeah, to see guys like T.J. Perkins, and now he's getting slingshot to Raw too, and a classic face that I've come to appreciate again in this is Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, excuse me. Wow, watching his passion is just incredible.
It's there, but I have a problem with it. Not to cut you off, but the problem I have with it is that the passion is there, the desire to, be where he's at, especially at that age, and what happened with the past, experience with WWE and all that. That's great, but I was not moved. I didn't get into any of his matches. I felt like he probably went a little further. He should have lost the first week. And if I can figure out the name he faced off the first week.
Raul Mendoza.
And that dude was amazing. I thought he was amazing. He's a luchador. I thought he was phenomenal. I'm like, how the hell did he, beat him?
Yeah.
And I was not impressed by anything he did. And, I still respect him, but it's just like, he went a little further than what he should have.
Yeah.
Here's what Brian Kendrick is. Brian Kendrick is two things. He is a veteran, and he is remotely healthy. For that weight class, especially bringing a lot of people from the little time to the big time, they're going to need that level of guidance there. That's the reason Tajiri's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think now Tajiri was eliminated, and like over half the guys that have been eliminated out of like the 10, and they're going to Raw, and some are staying in NXT. Is Tajiri one of them that's going to Raw? I
would assume.
Okay, I've seen the list. I've been trying to look it up while you guys have been talking, and I can only find like a handful of names here and there. I know 2 out of the 4 in the last finals are going Grand Metalik and T.J. Perkins. I know Cedric Alexander, Kendrick. Noam. Yes, those guys. Yeah, Noam Dar's going, and he's exceptionally young. He's only like 22.
Yeah. Dude, I've been like Noam Dar is the weirdest. He's so fucking random. Like, I've watched the guy through ICW, through a couple. I think he was in Progress either once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched. I think he was also in WXW, but I've also seen him in like Celtic Pro Wrestling, Irish Whip. I found a little bit online. The thing about him that is so appealing to the WWE is his heritage.
Yeah.
That is a major selling point for him personally. But
he was from Israel, but he
there you go.
He grew up in Scotland.
Yep.
Okay.
The thing is Who was the last true Jewish superstar?
Oh man,
the last true superstar. Now, granted, there's been some little ones that you've kind of had speckling of, but I'm talking about legit superstar.
I was going to say Scotty Goldman.
Scotty Goldman.
Dude, as much as I love Cabana, Cabana, unfortunately, to most wrestling fans, is a podcast guy.
Yeah. And he's so fun to watch.
Oh, dude, he's great. But
I saw him last year with one of the guys who was in this cruiserweight thing in a Global Force Wrestling when they came to Appleton, Wisconsin last year. He started out the whole show in a match with Davari.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's another name that's coming. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I mean, you got some of those. I mean, dude, I don't know. What were we talking about in my head? But my brain.
Oh, you talking about Jewish heritage? Israel.
Thank you. Okay, like I'm just my head is just dying.
It's okay.
With Noam Dar, like the thing that I like about him is like, I mean, the heritage is a big selling point, but your last major superstar was Goldberg.
I was gonna say Goldberg. I don't know if you were thinking of him, but yeah.
So, like, I mean, you're talking 15, 16 years ago since you've had a legitimate hook into that country and into that demographic. That for the most part, probably has no interest in your product.
Yeah. And it's also something that they haven't, like, made so incredibly stereotypical and threw a turban on their head.
Well, dude, the thing I like about Noam Dar is Noam Dar makes fun of himself. If WWE is going to tell a joke, he's already told it, and it was funnier.
Nice.
Like, he's got... he was in a coalition like that basically formed in his last couple of weeks in ICW called the Pinky Party. It was him, Grado, and Shaw Samuels. It was amazing.
Oh, great!
So
growing fan favorite.
If I can get a WWE Pinky Party shirt, I will. If they put it up, I'm buying it. It'll be bought minute one.
Nice.
But I mean, he's one of those guys that he's had fun with his name. Like, he had a shirt that was Dar Wars on the front and hashtag Judai Master. Nice. I mean, it's stuff that, like, I mean, it's all jokes that he's poked at himself 1,000 times. So there's nothing the WWE that's going to do that's going to come close.
Yeah. Yeah, and in fact, I just saw, it was yesterday, I saw his farewell to, oops, phone's going off. Sorry, Vince, gotta call you back. Just kidding. I saw his farewell to ICW, and wow, was that... Dude, those crowds are just insane. They're so fun to watch. They're so nuts. It's basically the equivalent of reminding yourself what an international crowd sounds like whenever WrestleMania rolls into town. You know, right. It's nuts. But yeah, that was something to watch.
You've got a lot of, ICW, it's like their crowd learned how to behave via like ECW reruns.
Yeah.
Like that crowd, dude, all of the UK crowds, all of them, they're all nuts.
Yeah.
They're all nuts. ICW is insane. Progress kills me. I don't know who the chant master is of that crowd, but he deserves a raise.
They pay him to come, right?
Yeah, well, okay, one of my new current favorite, Pete Dunne and Pete Dunne and Trent Seven. Trent Seven went heel on Tyler Bate and turned on him, so that was a tragic day for me. But you had them kind of squaring off. So you had Pete Dunne and Trent Seven on the side of the ring, and the crowd starts chanting at them, "Shit boots, no pants." Because Pete Dunne has these little tiny like Roderick Strong boots. And
okay,
Trent Seven is wearing like the underoos. wrestling tights. So it was shit boots, no pants, shit boots, no pants. And it's like, are you, what?
Where the hell is this coming from?
Like, I mean, let's see, what was it, when Jimmy Havoc was pretty much running wild on Progress.
Oh, dude. I absolutely love Jimmy Havoc.
Yeah. Fuck you, Jimmy, you're a cunt. Fuck you, you're a cunt.
Yeah. Dude, the crowd.
This was like, it was just, I mean, it's like, I mean, you've got El Ligero, who is a luchador, and he's got these horns on the side of his head, and the crowd will chant shitty little horns at him. And the funny part about it is El Ligero will like retreat to the corner, and his tag team partners will put his hands underneath his horns, to like cover his ears. It's ridiculous, but that's part of the reason where it's like, people want to know where crowd chants came from. They're from the UK.
Yeah, they really are.
And are trickling over here.
UK is always crazy. No matter if it's wrestling, a rock concert. I don't know what it is. They're
very passionate. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So my last part of the discussion that I want to get to before we wrap this up tonight, with the CWC wrapping up tomorrow. And like I said, to me, it doesn't really matter who wins. I think you say, well, who's going to win? The fans are going to win. And it sounds corny, but it's true. And then you've got 10 of these guys going to Raw, and that's what I want to talk about. Raw the last several weeks in a row, with the exception of like Kevin Owens becoming champ, which I thought was pretty cool. Bayley is on the main roster now, which is cool. But man, there has been a lot, and I mean a lot, of stinker moments. With as horrible as the booking has been on Raw lately, is the Cruiserweights on Raw gonna save Raw?
No. I've been pondering this in my head, and we don't know until it happens. Personally, that's the wrong brand to put those guys in. SmackDown is the brand to put them in, especially with Dana Bryan over there every Tuesday. That is the brand to put them in. But, it is what it is. I feel as if Raw is designed, for that boring entertainment segment type thing. I feel like the Cruiserweight is, with those guys going over to Raw, I think they would be very limited into, we're not going to see a 15, 20-minute Cruiserweight match. You know what I'm saying? I think we'll see like 8, maybe 7-minute Cruiserweight match here and there. And I feel as if that it makes them kind of look bad. And that's kind of how, with those guys that they're putting over on Raw, the guys that they chose are more desperate per se. I feel like it's not going to be good. The Cruiserweight division is going to be very bad over on Raw. I couldn't even describe the feeling that I feel about that. It's weird. I think they kind of get lost in the mix, because no matter, all those guys that are going over to Raw, all the Cruiserweights, okay, they're still going to put so much effort into a Kevin Owens or Roman Reigns or whoever is over there.
Yeah,
I feel like they're going to get lost in the shuffle, and it's going to be a hot mess.
Well, it's like the last few weeks, all you've had, besides a couple of good segments, are a crap ton of squash matches between Nia Jax, Braun Strowman, and Bo Dallas. It's just
and they'll probably put a couple of those
match ever. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
That's like getting a squash match for fucking Hornswoggle. What are we doing?
Yeah, it's just it's the, like I said, the booking has been just god awful. I understand you want to book Strowman as a big strong guy, so I get that.
But it's the wrong brand. Who's commentating over in CWC that understands technical, high-flying cruiserweight wrestling?
Ronaldo.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo, obviously. I mean, just for them to be on that side where those guys are touring together every Tuesday together, that can give insight to the management of Triple H or Vince, whoever's there running things at that show.
You're not going to have JBL going, who the hell is this midget?
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure why.
But the thing is he's still on the microphone, so that's probably going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's on SmackDown now. Never mind. I was thinking he was still on Raw.
Oh, dude, I was just spinning the wheel like, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop, JBL. Fuck. Oh, God.
Yeah, I really wish. Yeah, it's definitely
anybody
the wrong
else.
plan.
Can you give me Jerry Lawler, light, whatever the hell he is now, because he's not Jerry Lawler anymore?
Oh, God. Have you seen his outfits in the pre-show?
He's wearing like a dashiki. Like, I think he's like really, really close to going like full on Ethiopian Catholic, which will be amazing. I mean, it'll be an amazing transformation for the king to go from former Memphis potential racist to priest. I mean, dude, whatever works. I mean, when it comes to the cruiserweight division, is it going to save Raw? No, it's not.
Do you think it's going to be a success?
And it's not going to. If the cruiserweight division is not a success, it's no one's fault but Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Yeah.
Yep.
See,
that's where the problem comes in. And especially be on Raw, Vince is behind everything on Raw. A 3-hour program on a Monday night.
Well, it's not after he tore his quad this week, but...
Well, probably.
I mean, dude, Kevin Nash tore his quad while he was listening to you report that Vince tore his quad. So
yeah, sorry, Kevin. Love you. Pretty much the end of the cruiserweight discussion from myself, JAYBONE, Mile High Laz, and the Baron. From there, it takes a completely different course, off track, or we could say off the rails, and really never comes back to the cruiserweight discussion, which I'll release that at a later date, probably in the next day or so. Great discussion. It really opened up my mind to how much of a mind of wrestling worth that Mile High Laz is. He is just an open book of everything and anything wrestling related. So that, like I said, that will come at a later date. Thank you for watching this. It'll be very exciting to see the conclusion to the Cruiserweight Classic, and somewhere within the next few days we'll be doing a probably some kind of review, or within the next week, depending on when things can happen with scheduling and stuff. We'll get another conclusion to the Cruiserweight Classic, and maybe another preview to what we hope will become a successful Cruiserweight division on the main roster. Till then, we'll see you next time.